Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are your Bourbon Journey. Now, I have a feeling that you are not sure what we're going to talk about today.
Or if we're going to drink 500 things.
You're probably guessing, you're probably confused. This week, McBrayer Legacy Spirits will be releasing their 5th version of W.H. McBrayer, The Judge. Number 5 is coming down the pike. Guys, for myself, the history with this bourbon is this. In 2012, I was contacted by another McBrayer, and there's several on Facebook, who pointed me to a sort of a legacy page and a history page of bourbon. And I went ahead and followed it. I was not a bourbon drinker at the time, but I had been told that there were 2 gentlemen who carried my birth father's name, William, that were going to be going ahead and starting up this line of McBrayer bourbon. Whatever, didn't think anything of it, that's fine. Fast forward to 2020 and the first release of The Judge comes out. And of course, there were 900 bottles and we picked up 2. And from that point, we have been consistently buying the bottles and the different variations that they have. And everything that we're going to talk about from this point leads to what happened a few weeks ago when we went to the barrel dumping. Before I forget, the book in front of me, if you're interested in learning about the history of McBrayer bourbon, how far it goes back with the brand Cedarbrook as well, it is a 175-year-old legacy that our cousins have brought back and proudly brought back. And so now, Rebecca, talk about what led to all of this.
So we were pretty excited when Bill invited us to come to Bardstown, Kentucky, and take part in the barrel dumping for W.H. McBrayer number 5. And that was a great experience. We had never done that before. And we'll share some photos and some videos as we're chatting about it. But to be there, and a lot of Bill and Bill Sr.'s friends were there, people that have helped them along the way, people that have helped promote the brand were there. And it was just really exciting to have so many people gathered around and really supporting McBrayer Legacy Spirits. And of course, it was really cool as they started popping open the barrels, and they were thieving out of them and taking like maybe half, probably about this much each time out of each barrel so that we could sample it and see how it is. And that was happening along the way. And just watching it and then seeing the barrel being dumped, and then it was being routed up to a larger vat where they were all going to commingle at that point. But did you enjoy that part too?
I did too. Once again, this is something we had not seen. We have seen stuff put into larger barrels, but we have never seen a dumping, and that was really cool. It sounds silly because basically you're popping the bung and dumping it out and then rolling the barrel and then putting the bung back on and then sitting it upright. Mm-hmm. But it took a while, and to get all that wonderful juice that Bill and Bill Sr. had been working on over these last few years.
And there were 15 barrels. The blend that they worked so diligently on to make just right does consist of 15 different barrels. So 15 barrels had to be opened, and that was pretty interesting in itself. And each one, the room was just filling with the aroma of McBrayer Legacy Spirits, which was fantastic. But then in small groups, we took turns going into the lab, which is right off the bottling room, where we had all these bottles had been assembled that were samples from each of the 15 barrels. So then we got the chance to sample those 15 samples, so to speak. And obviously that's not what the blend is. Those are the pieces that go in to make the blend. But that was pretty exciting.
It was really cool. That was a second thing that we have never done. We've walked by labs on tours. We may have walked in one. I just want to say that because I don't want to have an absolute with that. But that
we've never done something in one.
We have never done something in one. And so after we saw the dump, we waited a few minutes for another group to go forward and do a tasting. They came out and we walked in, and we were there with pretty much the people that had put this whole puppy together with Bill and Bill Sr.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fun process. We had 15 bottles put in front of us. I think it was like 3 or 4 different lines of them. And
there were Glencairn glasses everywhere. So we were just, who wants to try this sample? And one might be high tobacco, and one might be really high caramel, right? One might have a lot of some spicy notes. It was fascinating to see how truly with one mash bill, all at one time from 15 barrels, we're tasting the same mash bill, but how the aging process and the barrel itself contributed to each one having a little bit different nuance. It was fascinating.
It is one thing where I finally learned that there is a lot to the method to the madness, because when we tasted bottle number 2, and we tasted probably about 8 to 10 of the bottles that were on the table. Number 2, we were asked, what do you think? Well, it's not really that good. We didn't really particularly like it. But there was one component, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, that they wanted from that barrel to go into these 15 to mix.
I think it was super viscosity. It was really had like an oily mouthfeel.
Okay,
and so that's gonna contribute to, you know, we love a good mouthfeel with great viscosity on a bourbon. It makes it kind of buttery, and you know, it makes it feel great in your mouth, and you get more flavors off of it. I think that's what that one was. And I found that even when we did a blending experience at J. Mattingly, the same thing was I picked from a barrel for part of my blend that I didn't care for the taste as much, but it had that mouthfeel, and I wanted that to be part of my blend. So it's obviously something that is commonly done.
Because sometimes I would agree, because you pick something, well, gosh, I would never drink that alone. But somehow all these other components added together, it works.
The sum of the parts is greater than each individual one. I mean, it really is a symphony when it comes together. You know, you hear that oboe playing in the orchestra, and it's nice, but it's not going to compel you to come back and listen to it. But when they're all together, it's amazing, right? So that's how I think about blending, really.
The one that I remember the most was the last bottle, was bottle number 15. And that was the one that had a leather barrel and I believe a caramel note.
Didn't it have some tobacco too?
Tobacco, yes. And that is the one. Bill walked back in, and I think I was talking with Brian, because he was going over the process. He was one of the main contributors to this process.
The blending process and selection. Yeah, it was a great day. It was fabulous. And then we got to watch the bottling operation. We didn't get to be there when they were bottling this, but before we left, they had obviously put everything, all 15 barrels into one steel container, right? And it was going to sit there and kind of go through a blending and harmonizing and marriage, so to speak. Let it get used to one another, because they've been all in these separate containers, and it was time for them to get to know one another. I think it was going to be about 7 to 10 days. It was going to sit in there to get that process done. So this is sample we were given by Bill. Everyone that was on the team that day got a sample, this 200 milliliter bottle, and it was straight out of that large blended vat. So we have not tasted it yet. So this is going to be our first time to do that, and we're pretty excited. But we taste it with the understanding that it's probably going to be better, because once it goes through that kind of curing process and getting to know one another, it's going to be more well blended before it went into the bottling process. So we anticipate when we get our bottle, it's probably going to blow our socks off a little bit more than this one probably will. So, and we're assuming we're going to love it because we loved all the samples.
And so far, I mean, we have, last year, after we got, I think it was June of last year, you said that we had tasted and compared all 4, including the original one. And so we could do a 4-bottle review. And
I'll put a link of that in the description if you'd like to go back and check out the 1 through 4, our tasting notes and nosing notes and what we preferred from that one. I will say I think number 4 was our favorite overall. So
here we are, you know, we're a few days away from number 5 being released. May 10th is supposedly the official day. If you are interested and you have not signed up, if you go to McBrayerLegacySpirits.com,
you would click the button that says join the Legacy Club.
Yes.
The Legacy Club is free. Okay, so many of these bourbon companies have these clubs that cost a fortune to join, But this is free to sign up, and then you get notified when things are about to come out. They keep you up to date on things that are going on, such as they purchased property near Wild Turkey. So we were some of the first ones to learn about that through their blog and their email newsletters. So, but the important thing is you find out when things are going on sale. And so again, there's no cost. You don't get a discount or anything, but there's no cost, and you find out when it's going on sale. So you don't have to keep going to the website every day to check it out. So it's a great thing to join.
Now that we basically have been very sycophantic about this, we're now...
And we do not work for McBrayer Legacy Spirits, even though it's his same last name and it's family. We love them, but we do not work for them. We just love what they're doing.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead rather than talk anymore.
I'm ready to drink.
I am ready to smell, taste, and enjoy what is to come of number 5.
Yeah, so
Number 5.
it is a beautiful color. It's a lovely, I would call it like a
Medium amber?
medium amber or mahogany, because it's got some mahogany tones to it that I'm really enjoying. So it's forming some really nice legs. I'm liking that. That's probably that bottle that we were questioning that's forming these legs for us here. I want to smell it. Oh, it's been sitting here for a little while, and it's kind of been making the room smell
Caramel,
like it. Okay.
baking spices. It's got alcohol. Those are the leads for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's almost a confectionery sugar.
There's a slightest hint of chocolate, but I need to taste it
There's a lot on the nose.
to judge number 5.
5.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. The sum is better than the parts. This is fantastic.
Bill, I want to thank you because I have found barrel number 15 on the flavor.
Because it feels so good, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
There is chocolate.
And it's buttery, soft, creamy, and it's almost a milk chocolate. I don't get that a lot. It's almost a milk chocolate. It's really good.
The proof, to my understanding, it's about 106.8.
0.8. It's just balanced really well. It's not too spicy. It's not too sweet. It hits on all cylinders, so to speak. It's creamy. It's got this luscious kind of caramel, nougat, chocolate thing going on, almost like a candy bar. And then it's got this light spice talking in your other ear saying, ooh, I'm a little spicy too, don't forget about me. It's just kind of dancing in my mouth a little bit. And it's dancing, it's also got a little bit of effervescence to it, which I love when you get that. It just kind of goes like it's popping. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, it's just correct. I love my wife. She's really descriptive. She has a good job with this. I get baking spices at the beginning. And once the baking spices do their initial hit, I get chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate.
Now, are you getting dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
I'm getting dark chocolate. I am getting a very distinct chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Mine's kind of in between it. It could be the caramel nougat feeling I'm getting because of the creaminess that's almost lightening the chocolate for me. From normally I get a dark chocolate. This is almost a milk chocolate, not quite. It might be like a semi-sweet chocolate you could use for chocolate chip cookies. It's not overly sweet like a full milk chocolate, but it's not as dark as a dark chocolate. So a semi-sweet chocolate might fit the bill like you put in a chocolate chip cookie. I'm going to taste for that chocolate chip cookie now.
Well, I'm going to cleanse my palate.
Because the finish is really long.
I'm going to cleanse and start over here.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the finish while I've got it going on.
Right.
It's very long. That's where the effervescence is happening for me. And it's like between cinnamon, it's popping between cinnamon and black pepper, almost back and forth. And the chocolate turned darker for me on the finish. But there's still hints of caramel on the finish too, which I'm really liking a lot.
For me, it's reminiscent of a cinnamon red hot with it, and with some black pepper back there. And some light hints of tobacco and leather.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like an older bourbon.
It does.
It does not taste the age it is. It tastes like it's been around for a while.
Well, and while you bring that up, I think while we're sitting on that a little bit, we'll come back to another taste. But let me share a little bit about what we know about this particular bottle, what its contents are, and what you might look forward to, and why you might appreciate this Batch 5. So W.H. McBrayer, the Judge Batch 5, is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Company is McBrayer Legacy Spirits. The distillery is undisclosed, but if you watch the video, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. The mash bill is, and this is you go back and read the book or look at anything on their website, this is the mash bill that the judge sent in a letter to E.H. Taylor, which is how they resurrected it. The mash bill is 88.4% Bloody Butcher corn, 5.8% heirloom rye, 5.8% malted barley. This blend, we've already told you, was 15 barrels. 8 of those barrels are 6.5 years old, and 7 are 5.5 years old. It's not age stated, but obviously you would go with the 5.5 years as the one that is the youngest, which is the rule, but a higher percentage is 6.5. So that's probably where we're getting some older notes. Also, I will say that it is small batch and non-chill filtered. We had the proof backwards before. It is 108.6.
Okay.
The MSRP, it will be $100. I'll just let you know that they do ship to all but 9 states. So that's very convenient. And if you've ever watched any of our Sipping on History, we do purchase a lot of our vintage bottles at Revival Vintage Spirits in Covington, Kentucky. And they are a partner with McBrayer Legacy Spirits. And you can order a pickup and pick it up there if you want to save shipping and go shop for some vintage bottles at the same time. While you're on the website, I know Wayne mentioned gifts and things you might buy that are there as well. We got these nifty glasses, and we have several other things, coasters, but I will also say they do have some other bottles available for sale right now. They have their Cedarbrook. They're sold out right now of the previous Judge. Mm-hmm. They're also sold out right now of their Old McBrayer bottled and bond. But they have their the Cedarbrook small batch. They have Cedarbrook single barrel, and they have Old McBrayer single barrel. So they have several proof options for those. They're all fantastic. We have tasted all of them, literally, and we highly recommend any of those as well. So while you're there, think about buying the Judge and maybe considering trying one of the other ones too.
You can't go wrong with whatever you get. And I know that the release of Old McBrayer will be coming a little bit later this year, along with Cedarbrook. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And once again, sign up for their newsletter and for their emails, and you will be contacted when things are available and what's to come. And also progress on the property down near Wild Turkey.
Yeah. Any other notes on this before we go?
Well, the notes are that it's worth the price.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. You can see what the bottle looks like. And the new box for this year, it's got that almost burnt orange label on it, which is quite nifty. So that's what your package is going to look like. You can see we have 1 through 4 here. We're excited to add number 5 sometime soon this month. And we highly encourage you to pick that up.
And looking forward to that. And, Bill, I'm going to raise this glass to you. You and your dad are really great people. And makes me proud to be a McBrayer. Mm-hmm. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We talked a lot, but Bill is a great guy. These are great people.
Absolutely.
We love you guys. We love the product. The 10th, it's coming live. Subscribe. Make sure to be ready to possibly get one of the bottles that's coming up, because you will not be disappointed.
There will be 2,750.
And believe me, it's worth the price, and it's worth the taste, and it's an honor to have it on the shelf. Mm-hmm. Cheers to all of you out there. Always remember to drink responsibly. If you like what we do, please hit the subscribe button. Have a great day.
Cheers.
The Judge would be proud.